For me, productivity was like after 8 hours of sleep, I'm waking up, then I'm eating the frog. That means I'm doing the most irritating task of the day, or maybe the most challenging task of the day. After completing this, I'm feeling so much calm. Then while doing every task, I'm taking frequent breaks, using Pomodoro and many different productivity techniques. That was productivity for me, right? That was how I was judging my day, that my days went well. But after spending a lot of time with different productivity hacks, and after watching a lot of videos by productivity gurus like Ali Abdal, Matt Diavla, and many others, I have understood that productivity is something where the techniques actually will help you to get something done. And we are people, all of us are different, right? We are not the same people. The YouTuber or the productivity guru that I'm watching maybe is not facing the same problem day to day that I am facing, or maybe his vitals or health is not same as mine, right? So in that case, we need to determine that what is the productivity hacks that is going to be actually working for us. So in this podcast, I'm going to share 3 productivity hacks that I genuinely ditched, and I feel good about it because this is not impacting my life. This is actually helping me to get more things done instead. So I'm going to start with the first and famous one. There is a book written on it as well. I have the paperback of this. I have read the book, and from that book I learned so many things, but except the core concept, because that's a core concept that does not work for me. I will put the link of the book on the podcast description, which is Eat the Frog. It is by, I think it is by Brian Tracy, I guess. But what the book tells you, that whenever you wake up, you need to do the most challenging things that is on your to-do list, right? Which you may make on the last day, or maybe when you wake up, right? So, but this does not work for me, guys, because whenever I try to do a challenging things, I get so much tired. I feel that okay, that's done, maybe I have done the most important and challenging things of the day, but I lose the clarity and the calm, because when I wake up, I want something calm on my note to start my day. But I'm not getting that, right? Maybe where I need to prepare a presentation, or maybe I need to write a script. That's what I'm doing when I'm waking up. I'm just torturing myself each and every day. And I'm not the kind of person who likes to torture myself. You may come up with a lot of arguments that you need to torture yourself to become successful. But I have a different dedicated podcast about that. I will try to link that podcast link as well. So here's the thing, right? You don't need to eat the frog when you wake up. So instead, you do things that actually makes you calm, which will help you actually get your days organized very well. Because I like to start my day with some meditation, sometime just hanging out on my garden, looking at the trees, maybe putting some water on the plant. That's what makes me feel good. That's how I feel that my morning has started really well. That's actually helped me get done with many things, not only the challenging things, maybe different kind of things on the relationship part, or on the communication with my colleagues, and different other work related activities as well. So that's the first productivity hack that I ditched. And the second one is the frequent breaks. Frequent breaks, when I'm talking about frequent breaks, actually one thing comes to your mind, maybe, which is called the Pomodoro technique. And recently I made a podcast about it, like on the Pomodoro technique, where I said that Pomodoro actually works for me. Now I am saying that I don't actually take frequent breaks. So here's the thing, right? Frequent breaks actually breaks your flow state. If you take, suppose you are doing a project, and you are just getting into the flow state, and your alarm is popping that you need to take a break. Actually, you are getting out of this flow state, and no matter whether you take a break for 1 minute or 5 minutes, right? You will get out of this flow state, and it will be very tough for you to get into this state again, right? And if you're continuously breaking it, it is going to be very tough for you to actually do the whole thing in a flow state. And flow state actually helps you get things done in a really quickly and also in a fun way. But Pomodoro actually, and I also said this on the podcast, that Pomodoro actually works for me for the learning part only. So suppose I'm learning any material, something new concept, that's when or maybe I'm reading a book. I not exactly reading a book, but some material which is tough, right? So in that case I use Pomodoro. But other than that, I don't like to use, like to take frequent breaks or something, because I feel that when I'm doing a task, when I'm in the zone, I don't want to distract myself. So if I get, troubled by some different kind of things which I'm unable to solve or something, that's when I take breaks. But other than that, if I'm doing the task and there is no interruption, like there is nothing, so much challenging that is coming that I can't really get the hell out of this, right? That's when I take breaks. Or maybe my brain is totally empty and I can't think of anything else. That's when I take the breaks. Other than that, I am not a big fan of frequent breaks. I do work when there is genuine work. I do work for 3, 4, 5 hours at straight, and I try to complete it, right? After that, I just take a break for the whole day maybe, right? So that's how I actually work. I ditch the frequent breaks technique, which basically a lot of productivity gurus or maybe some other people will tell you, right? And the third one, I just genuinely don't want you to follow me along with that. So here's the thing. A lot of people will tell you to take 8 hours of sleep because it gives you, rejuvenates your body, it gives you the energy to do something else. When you wake up fresh, it will give you this kind of vibe that okay, you can do a lot of things. But here's the thing, 8 hours of sleep does not work for me, right? I have read many articles that depends on the person to person, right? You don't need to sleeping 8 hours, right, to be productive. You might be saying that it depends on the age, but it's not. I have seen many articles where people are saying that some young people can also sleep for 6 hours, and they can be as productive as others, and also it's not harming their body as well, right? So here's the thing that I want you to do. Try out different sleeping hours. So but do and see that whether you feel energetic or not. If you're feeling groggy or something after waking up, then you need more sleep. So what really happens with 8 hours of sleep is that I can sleep around 6.5 to 7 hours. That is my sleep cycle. If what I used to do is I used to force myself to sleep again. Suppose I wake up at after 6.5 hours of sleep, and I was like, okay, I just did not complete my 8 hours of sleep. I need to sleep 1.5 hour. What I used to do is I just used to genuinely try to sleep. And if I sleep and wake up, I used to feel more groggy, and I used to feel irritated for the whole day. And I used to think that, okay, maybe that's a problem with me. But here's the thing. That is not my problem, right? That's what only my body needed. So I just experimented with the different hours, and that's something that works for me. So every time I wake up after a single sleep cycle, and if I'm not feeling groggy or anything, I don't generally go back to sleep. So I don't have a fixed schedule of sleep, but here's the thing, that's how it works for me. So I think it depends on the person to person. So you better need to try out, right? So what I want to conclude this podcast with is that there are lots of productivity hacks in this world. Maybe I may come up with a new productivity hack, some other day, but you need to implement it, you need to experiment it, and you need to understand whether this is working for you or not, because productivity is something which should be helping you to get things done, not the other way around. You don't need to copy others to actually, feel that, okay, I'm productive, because sometimes what we are doing is that we are actually giving ourselves the illusions that if we are doing, implementing all their productivity hacks and we are productive, right? You, at the end of the day, you need to see the results. If the results are coming from that, then go ahead and do it, right? So that's it for today's podcast. And if you like this podcast, please give it a 5-star or subscribe from wherever you're listening to. And if you have any query or suggestions, please reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are ImpleBooks at everywhere. So that's it for today. Have a good day.